one of the first things that, I need to remind myself sometimes is that we can't be focused on the negative. We can't be focused on the doom, destruction, and despair all the time. We have to remind ourselves of the fact that while there is suffering in life, while there is pain in life, there is also joy, there is also happiness, there is also pleasure to balance the pain and so forth. I've already talked about the InfoWars stuff. I don't plan to address it again. There's no reason to address it again. For the nth time, I have no interest in internet drama, and I have no interest in talking incessantly about it. If you want to find out my opinion on it, watch yesterday's video. Anyhow, so when we started Unauthorized, Owen and I were talking about what we wanted to do, what we wanted what other people we wanted to feature. And so we noticed that it's far too common for people to get caught up in doom porn. I remember from my days on WorldNet Daily that people were constantly focused on the end of the world, the end of the USA, depression, revolution, and so forth. And I fed into that probably more than anyone because of my focus on economics and so forth. But we can't always be focused on those things. There's more to life than that. And so what we didn't want to do, Owen's a comedian. And so, Owen doesn't just focus on negative things and bad things and so forth. He also focuses on what's funny and humor and that sort of thing. I'm not so good at that, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to offer a broad spectrum of different materials, different programs that people can watch, so that if you get tired of survivalism, that you would have something lighter to watch, whether it's Owen's comedy, whether it's David the Good's gardening. Totally depends upon like I want to do some streams on game design, and we also want to focus on living your life well. It really bothers me that we have this tendency to obsess myopically on the darkness and the difficulties of life. And so I thought about it, and I thought about the people that I knew who lived better than pretty much anybody that I know. And so I talked to them and said, hey, would you guys be willing to do a program on the unauthorized? And they said, well, what would we talk about? I said, just talk about the way that you live. I said, you guys live more happily and more comfortably than just about anybody I know, including all the really rich people, including all the famous people. It's just there's more to it than that. And so, and they're friends of ours. We always enjoy visiting them and so forth. And it's really interesting because even though, you know, even though their life is, you know, has just as many ups and downs as anyone else, I thought, well, you know, why don't you just talk about like the great wines in your area, or the 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 beaches, or the architecture and so forth. And yeah, some of you are guessing we're talking, of course, about Barcelona life.